Note: for English translation, I use Google Translate. Some word composition may not be correct. I believe you will understand what I want to tell you. Prologue. I have to honestly admit that I was skeptical, and for a few reasons. After Massive showed us in trailers and gameplay videos, I felt that this could not be true, that I was just dreaming. Snowy New York is gone. I loved this place. The feeling when you feel so comfortable and fabulous, and at the same time you feel great fear and worry about your life. The survival theme spread through the city and covered the streets as snow. All this was beautiful and scary at NY. Instead, the creators served us the sunny and summer Washington, D.C. The sun is shining, people are wearing t-shirts, the ladybug is resting on the grass and running around the deer everywhere. Totally cool. Should I be afraid of such an environment, worry about my life, be afraid? No way. This occurred to me during the first videos I saw. Survival. You know what I liked most in NY? It wasn't paradoxically snow, though it was breathtaking in the DLC survival. But they were lights, light everywhere, and lots of Christmas decorations. Because it basically gave me a Christmas atmosphere in me. Those sceneries were really amazing and beautiful. Tell us who of us does not like such a Christmas atmosphere. This was the main reason for my dissatisfaction. And on the other hand, we have DC and summer. God, summer, all summer, there is summer in every game. But who knows the story knows that the story in DC continues 7 months after NY events. And since it was cold in NY, 7 months will definitely be summer. Illuminated streets, all in t-shirts, people and animals are constantly searching all the major and secondary streets to get some food and supplies. Animals for yourself and people for people. This made me feel that even though it is beautiful and sunny here, the word survival has a much deeper meaning than in the first game. The first clashes with enemy factions persuaded me more and more that these people don't give you anything easy. They don't give you easy supplies, territory, and no good loot. The word survival applies not only to you, but to everyone in this city. In this respect, I have to praise the creators, which they really did. Happy. I will say it quite simply. The basic principle and operation of this game is to kill hundreds, thousands of NPCs with tons of rounds and arsenal, and in any way. That's how I see it. For me, the most important factor in choosing a game is its gameplay. And here it is really great and very simple at first glance. Simple cover for obstacle and shooting, lots of shooting. Therefore, I did not expect any revolutionary change in mechanics and procedures by missions. It's a simple principle that worked great in the Division 1, so it will work in the Division 2. Therefore, I sincerely tell you that the content of the mission, minor missions and other activities worry me the least. I like the freedom of movement, where to go and what I will do. I like to invent new ways to complete missions and tasks. I can play one mission for as long as I figure out how. Complete it as efficiently as possible. I like this very much. When I do it, I feel cool and happy. Words. I wrote these words into my notebook just before the game was released. These words had meaning, then. Today I would formulate them somewhat differently. So I sat down to the laptop again and used words to make sentences, but a little different. Awakening. I have already mentioned to you that the content of missions worry me the least. Now it's the opposite. It's nice to watch almost perfectly designed missions and areas with perfect design. But this is not all. NPCs. NPCs are very strange here. Ignore incoming damage. They're constantly attacking you. They're constantly on the move. And they do it all very quickly. This creates constant pressure on you. And you always have to change. Or even recede. In this case, it seems to me that the cover system is almost removed from this game. And the cover system is supposed to be the basic element of this game. For experienced players it may not be a big problem. But occasional or less experienced players are an unimaginable obstacle. That is why Massive has had to reduce NPCs' damage and health several times on different settlements. However, reducing damage and health is not the way to go. It is necessary to adjust the behavior of NPCs itself, especially their fast movement and too much aggressiveness. I admit that this is what really bothers me. I think it's very annoying for me. And I can't enjoy the game the way I want it. Oftentimes I look at the map and decide which mission to play. When I know what's waiting for me, I usually just want to wander the city. And that's bad. The game just can't make me play missions. And that is very bad. Activities. City activities such as control point, territory control or public execution can all be called the same, and I wouldn't even notice the difference between them. Because they all work on the same principle. Attack and defend. Don't expect anything else from them. But that wouldn't be the worst. The worst part is that they are too inflated in a small space. Oftentimes, I happen to be doing one activity. Another one or two is activated. Then it looks like a war zone. And it may happen that you lose your life quickly. Another case is when I want to get some activity on the road. And as I continue my journey, the NPCs are constantly chasing me out of the activity and attacking me. So I have to stop and rotate and clear the area. But this keeps me away from what I want. I don't like this and it bothers me. Otherwise, I don't understand one thing. It bothers me that for the occupation of the control point the loot in the locked room is only available once a day. Why? I can't cast the same control point multiple times a day. Let it do so by occupying a certain control point so that it is occupied for 24 hours. Then I would know that I don't have to go again today. Because I don't open the chest with the loot. Loot. When I talk about loot, I must say that the rewards, especially in missions, are unbalanced. There is no difference in loot quality when playing normal difficulty or heroic difficulty. Heroic. I have 4 questions. 1. Why or for whom is this difficulty determined? 2. Why is only one Black Tusk faction available in heroic trouble? 3. Why is there so much NPCs? It's normal to be more than 300 NPCs in one mission? When you play in a group you may not be so aware of it, but try to play it solo. Those missions are infinitely long, very long. 4. Why is there no checkpoint? I don't know what's fun when you die in the last mission phase and you have to play the whole mission from again. If you complete it, you will find that the rewards are both ridiculous and sad. And the NPC's aggressiveness is crazy. Was anyone from Massive playing it at all? Maybe you have this argument that heroic is for groups. I disagree with this view. If there is no solo ban, it is also for solo players. Hunters. In the Division 1, Hunters was a pleasant diversion, and there was a certain amount of adrenaline and some satisfaction in defeating Hunters. Especially in survival mode. In the Division 2, you can avoid Hunters and you don't have to meet them all the time you spend in the Division 2. It's a shame. Developers could place them at least randomly in missions or in the underground. There it would be nice and at least it would make sense to search the underground. Skills. In the Division 1, skills was an integral part of and obligatory to equip every player. They helped to increase damage, keep the players alive and protect themselves from damage. In the Division 2 this somehow disappeared, and skills are shut down on a side wheel. Basically they are almost useless and unusable. Yes, as everything is sacrificed for skill power and cooldown, they are usable. But only after challenge difficulty. They are weak on heroic. And this pisses me off most of the game. I sacrificed everything for skill power and cooldown. I have no weapon damage, no health and no armor. And yet, skills are so weak or inefficient. Why? It is not fair. When a player builds a build based on weapon damage, it works great. I find it unfair. There are 3 stats bases: offensive, defensive, and skills. Offensive, great; defensive, great; and skills dash. Shit. Do something about it, massive. Raid. I do not want to comment on the raid in superlatives or negatives. Time will tell if all those mechanics and extra stiff bosses are fun or just very frustrating. Removing matchmaking. Raid is the right decision. The most important thing is not to have a large PCB, but a group of people who can communicate, tact, and behave in a disciplined way. Conclusion. So what does the Division 2 mean to me? Disappointed. Yet I believe the Division 2 can be a great game. However, it needs some minor or greater adjustments. Even the Division 1 was not so good at the beginning and after 1.8. But update 1.8 came after 18 months. I hope it will take less time in the Division 2. Please give me your feedback on this game and share your opinion with others. Thanks for watching.